Welcome into the RotoWire Soccer DFS show. We're talking Saturday's 3-game slate up at DraftKings. I'm Adam Zdroik, joined by Ryan Belongia, and Jordan Cooper is back from his Thanksgiving break. He had so much turkey that he couldn't talk about last week's slate. But as you can see, he's not stretching, and he's ready for this.
I'm trying to do what was Gabriel Jesus doing over there? He's got his face on the ground with the thumbs down. Does that mean not? Does that mean not to play him or to play him?
That's the question. So I got it on the screen here. I think this is when he picked up his last hamstring injury or something. That is the question on the slate as I pull up the cheat sheet. RotoWire.com/soccer trial. We got a bunch of stuff going on today. Some interleague slates if you're into that. RotoWire.com/chat. There'll be some people talking about that as well. But we got this 3-gamer, and we have Arsenal as a 76% favorite. Brentford are behind them at 65% favorite. So there's at least other options to play. When I initially looked at it, I thought it was going to be, okay, Arsenal, massive favorite here, home against Wolverhampton, 2.23 implied goal total. But, Brentford aren't that far behind with the 2 implied goal total. Big injury news, I guess suspension news. So Aitnery is out for Wolverhampton, and their 2 central midfielders are suspended. So Lamina and João Gomez are suspended. So that's obviously not what you want going into a trip to Arsenal, but maybe another reason to play Arsenal players if you needed another reason. So I put in Thomas Doyle and Boubacar Traoré in the starting 11 for them. And then Hugo Bueno is on the left wing, though it could be Matt Doherty who came on for Aitnery in the last game. Either way, this is going to be an Arsenal slate. So Ryan, you are the Arsenal fan. You watch their matches intently. And how many Arsenal players can you fit into your lineups?
Yeah, I don't know. It was one of the best performances of the season by Arsenal midweek in the Champions League. Absolutely thrashed Lens at home. It was 5-0 in the first half. They looked unstoppable. Before seeing lineups, I thought it would be a good spot to maybe fade Arsenal a little bit, at least in tournaments. You have Brentford and Burnley, and arguably the best matchups of the season for them. I think, home to Sheffield and home to Luton is about as good as it gets. And I have some respect for this Wolves team. I think they have a really good manager. I think they have some pretty good players. But, yeah, you mentioned all those guys being out, including 2 central midfielders, is tough. It does make you think that Arsenal are just going to dominate. They're going to dominate possession and they're going to create chances, but it doesn't mean they're going to score necessarily. We've seen them struggle in these spots before. Chalk Arsenal in a great home matchup on a small slate where everybody jams them. Yeah, it happens. But this spot looks pretty good against a weakened Wolves team with Arsenal full of confidence and flying. But yeah, I don't know. I do like Burnley and Brentford, players on both sides. So I think tournaments are interesting. Cash games, I don't know. Jordan can break it down for cash games.
Jordan, you said one Arsenal player. Is that Arsenal player Bukayo Saka?
My current cash lineup only has one Arsenal player in it, and that's Bukayo Saka. I believe that the priority on the slate. I don't believe Saka is the best play on the slate. I don't think any Arsenal player is the best player on the slate. To me, my priority.
Goodmunson. Just say it. Goodmunson. Okay.
I think, dude, I don't even have Goodmunson in my cash lineup.
Yeah, he's expensive.
Right? Although he's there. To me, the priority is Brian Mbeumo at 9,700. Matthias Jensen is out, which means that Mbeumo probably is going to take most, if not all, of their set pieces. He's going to play 90 minutes. Brentford has a 2 implied goal total, which we rarely see. He has the best anytime goal scorer odds on the slate also at plus 115. Arsenal, their front line, yeah, sure, yeah. Saka, Martinelli, Jesus, they're great. They also got Reece Nelson. They got Trossard. They got people that can come in at any time. Who knows if they rotate or whatever. I'm much more like, dude, give me Brian Mbeumo for 90 minutes at home in this matchup. Does he have penalties also? It just feels like his floor ceiling combination is, if not, his ceiling is as high as Saka and Martinelli, and I think his floor is actually higher than both of them. Yes, I like Saka. To me, I want to play Saka. I want to play Mbeumo, but my original thoughts are, Arsenal. You just plug in Saka, Martinelli. You just, you take those two. You play like a Man City slate, and I'm like, price wise, I mean, I have more Brentford and Burnley in my lineups than Arsenal because these are, I mean, Burnley has a 1.68 implied goal total. I mean, it's like, I don't want to play the underdogs are the issues. Like, people are going to go like, well, do I play a Luton player? I think Sheffield, you could play one guy, maybe two from there. But like, I think just price consideration, I much vastly prefer the Brentford and Burnley options because all of the Arsenal players are expensive. Do you want to pay 9,500 for Odegaard? Do you want to play? I mean, these prices are ridiculous. I mean, look, Maupay, you go, okay, how do you play Maupay over Jesus? Maupay has better goal scoring odds. Like, it's one of those things where it seems like Arsenal is the better team, but like this matchup for Brentford is so good that truthfully, I don't know. I know Ryan, you're the Arsenal person.
How does Maupay have better odds than
projection wise, it seems odd for me to say, but I'd much rather, even in GPPs, if you're going to tell me that people are going to jam in Arsenal, like, dude, I will stack the fuck out of Brentford and Burnley, no problem. And especially Brentford, I could play Vissa, I could play Maupay, I could play Mbeumo, and it's quite possible Arsenal puts up 4 goals, and 2 of those goals come from substitutes, right? In Brentford, it's much more likely that their front line put up all their goals, and they could score 4 goals in this game. That's why in cash, I know I'm mentioning, like, I wouldn't play Maupay in cash, but I'm just making the case that when I first looked at the slate, I'm like, Saka, Martinelli, and then when I second looked at the slate, I'm like, I'd like Saka, Martinelli, and Mbeumo, but I don't think you could do that. And I just said, okay, I'm getting rid of Martinelli and putting Mbeumo. And then I'm like, okay, what other Arsenal players am I playing? And I'm like, none, because there's none worth their price that is worth playing compared to the other players.
Yeah, I did the same thing as you with, I think Mbeumo and Saka would be the first 2 in. And Saka was my only Arsenal player. But I thought maybe you'd say Goodmunson was the 3rd guy in, but you don't have him, so that's
you
could.
It depends. It depends on what you want to do at goalkeeper and second and the utility spot. I mean, you can fit JBG in if you're willing to play 3 cheap defenders, essentially. Like if you're playing because I don't think there's a defender's worth paying up for on this slate at all. So most likely you're playing 3K level fullbacks that are underpriced probably for their matchups. You could play 3 of them and then play JBG. But I mean, obviously we're all over the place as far as, positions and whatever. I don't necessarily think that JBG, I think Brownhill for cheaper is good enough if you don't play JBG. And I don't think the forward eligibility matters on this slate because I want to play Saka and Mbeumo and they fill forward spots as it is. So JBG to me is a $7,300 midfielder. And while I think his ceiling may be higher than Brownhill's, I think Brownhill's floor and JBG's floor is about the same.
Their floors are the same?
That's fair. I don't
Brownhill play 90-minute and split set pieces, so I don't mind that. And this is a great matchup for Burnley. He'll be able to get forward more, right? In comparison, like JBG typically plays more forward. But like I would much rather play Brownhill than play like Gustavo Hammer or Norwood. I'd much rather play the favored side. I mean, I'd much rather play Burnley, Sheffield, and Arsenal guys.
Why not play both?
Sure, you can play both also. Sure.
Both Brownhill and Goodmunson.
You could do that as well.
Looks pretty good to me. I mean, just, we'll go through the other positions, but if you start him, Buemo, Saka, Goodmunson, Brownhill, Raya. Pretty easy.
I thought I was going to come into the show and you guys were going to be like, yeah, let's play 6 Arsenal guys. This was before I looked at prices, so it's not even possible. I thought you guys were going to be like, okay, let's 6 Arsenal guys. They're home against Wolverhampton. And I was going to be like, well, I actually like these matchups for these other teams, so I'm going to be fading some of these Arsenal guys. But it turns out it's going to be the opposite because I think Leandro Trossard at 8,200 is who I want over
Is he going to
these Burnley.
start? You don't have him in the projected lineups.
Yeah, he's there.
Oh, he is?
What?
He's there.
He's right here.
With the other, with three forwards.
Midfield. Oh, okay. I was looking at the forward spots. I thought he would play.
He
so
started.
You think they're going to line up this way?
This is how they lined up at Brighton last weekend.
Okay.
So my theory on this, well, it's not a theory, but we just look at, so in that game against Brentford, Trossard went 90 minutes. Martinelli was actually subbed off in the 81st minute for Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz ended up scoring the winner in that one. Midweek, Martinelli went 90 minutes. Trossard didn't even play off the bench. Martinelli went 90 minutes, even though, they won 6-0. The game was pretty much over. Even Saka was subbed off. So I think that Trossard is more, if this is what they look like, if they line up the same way they did against Brentford, Trossard's going to be more likely for 90 minutes, similar to that Brentford game. And he also seems like he's more likely to take corners over Martinelli. So you throw that in there, split a set pieces for Arsenal, 8,200. He's not the same 10K price that we have to worry about Martinelli. Why don't we just play Trossard in a midfield spot than actually worrying about, okay, Brownhill, hopefully, Burnley, great spot.
Adam, I'd play Trossard over Goodmunson.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm gonna do. That's kind of what I came to. It's a $900 price, but Goodmunson, Trossard, it's just that Arsenal are more likely to score. Trossard's more likely to score. Split a set pieces for both of them. So why don't we just play the Arsenal guy? So I don't know if you weren't mentioning it because you didn't think he was going to start, kind of thing, but I think it's automatic almost that I'm going to go Saka, Trossard, and Mbeumo in my lineups.
I think that is sound analysis. Yes, no, I agree. That's exactly right. Trossard was rested. He's going to start in this spot for sure. He's more likely than usual to play 90 minutes. He took sets over Martinelli. So I'm with you. Trossard is, you could call him if he's one of your first guys in for cash games, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I guess the one thing would be like, okay, maybe Trossard starts in the left wing and Martinelli isn't starting, and then you start to worry a little bit. Okay, well, Martinelli's probably going to come on for Trossard at some point in this game. So that is the worry if something like that happens. But if it is the same lineup as against Brentford, or even if it's, there'd still be some worry if Trossard played as like a false 9 instead of Jesus kind of a thing. That would be another worry because obviously Jesus is going to come on for either Trossard or Martinelli. So, but if it looks like this, I think that Trossard would be probably more likely than Jesus also to go 90 as well. So otherwise, as we've jumped around a little bit, but I think we kind of are glued on to some of these, cash plays that seem like almost locks in good spots. So it's kind of hard to not talk about some of these midfielders, but at forward, in tournaments, I think it's pretty certain there's going to be, Saka and Mbeumo are going to be up there in terms of percentages. So that's kind of where we're stuck at. So Martinelli's at 10K. Jesus is at 8,500. Jordan went through a bunch of these. Are either one of you guys in tournaments? Is it maybe you even go down for a utility spot on forward instead of even just looking at the M. Downies, the McBurneys kind of a thing? Are you guys stepping into those waters in tournaments? Stepping into the Burnley waters in tournaments? The M. Downies, J. Rodriguez is there as well, who's on PKs, who scored a PK last week. Jordan, are you a Jay Rodriguez fan? He's been around a while.
I'm a Jay Rodriguez fan. I'm a stack fan. So, like, I think on this slate with the 3 games, instead of me going like I'm going to play Jesus, then Jay Rodriguez, and then play Mbeumo, like my attitude is that I want to play 3 guys. I want to play 3 attacking players from a team. So, like, if I want to play Rodriguez, Mdouni, JBG, Brown. I want to play like 4 guys. Brownhill. I want to play all the Burnley guys, and then Burnley scores 3 goals, 4 goals, right? Or I want to do Mbeumo, Vissa, Maupay. I don't want to mix and match this type of stuff. Like, it's just like I'm pretty much I'm as of right now, I'm going to play 3 GPP lineups, and the themes of each lineup is going to be 1 Arsenal, 1 Burnley, 1 Brentford, and then whatever fits in the rest. Like, maybe I'm not playing 6 guys from one team, but like if I play Burnley, if I play Brentford, it's like Mbeumo, I'm playing Ben Mee in a defender spot. I'm playing, I'll play Onyeko or I'll play whatever. I'll play 4 or 5 guys from a team. Arsenal is going to be tough to do that, right? I'm much more likely to pick one of Saka and Martinelli, player them with Jesus and Trossard, and then possibly play like maybe one of the center backs or something like that, and Arsenal score in that direction, and then find value on the other teams. But to me, that I'm much more likely to do that than just try to like I'll play Saka, and instead of Mbeumo, I'm playing Jay Rodriguez, and then I'm paying up for somewhere else, and it's kind of like mix and match. Just like, no, I want it to be that Arsenal only win 2-0, but Burnley win 4-1, or Burnley only win 1-0, Arsenal win 3-0 with a substitute goal, and Brentford puts up 5 goals. Like something like I want the result where if you get the right game, you win, right? And obviously, if all the games are 2-0, you probably don't, right? But that's what more people are going to build lineups where they're taking bits and pieces than stacking, like Mbeumo, Maupay, and Vissa in one lineup.
Yeah, that's a good take. I mean, I agree with everything except you said you're playing 3 GPP lineups, but the $25 king of the pitch is 4 max.
Oh, who says I'm playing that line? That contest? Should I play
okay.
that?
I don't know. I thought you might.
Should I throw in my cash lineup into that?
Sure, or just
Yeah,
I'm going right. You called me out. I'm going to play it because you also have the 344. I was considering playing that, but I have to choose what the hell I'm going to do there.
I hear you.
I'm creating more lineups just because of you.
Okay, good. I just, I didn't want you to miss out.
So, Ryan, how many of your GPP lineups are going to have Saka, are going to have Mbeumo? 100%? Is that where we're at?
No. No.
Do you move off of Saka and go to Martinelli? Do you move off of Mbeumo, go whoever?
Yeah. I'm more likely to move off of Saka, right. I think. Like Mbeumo is the piece for Brentford where any of the 4 can be the highest scoring for Arsenal.
Wait. 4? What about Tomiyasu and his 2 assists? What about Kai Havertz if he starts?
Okay, sorry. Maybe those other
5
guys
also.
too.
Odegaard. If we get Trossard in the midfield, then we got Odegaard. There's like 6 guys in here. We're talking.
Even Zinchenko.
Yeah, exactly. So
okay, so yeah,
furthers your point. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I don't know. I have a similar take to Jordan, but I also don't mind, 1 Arsenal guy and then just mix and match from the other game. An Arsenal player, Mbeumo, 2 Burnley guys. I mean, there's not much I can add.
They're all in. By the way, Ryan, they're all in. I got all 4 in on the $25 king of the pitch. You all should be. When I win it, you should all blame.
You can
Ryan
yell at me,
right? For why'd you make him enter 4 lineups?
Yep, you can all blame me. Yeah, Adam, I like Mdouni and Koleosho for sure. The cheap pieces from Burnley. Koleosho's been pretty impressive this season, I think.
Yeah, I think it was last week against West Ham. He was close to a goal or something, if I remember correctly. So how much more do you like those Burnley guys than Cameron Archer and Oliver McBurney?
Man, I'm close to done with Sheffield. I've lost too much money on Sheffield. I've already been like one of the few taking chances on Sheffield, and it has not worked, not even close. I mean, I got buried last week trying to play Hammer, trying to play their forwards, thinking their fullbacks were good plays. Jayden Bogle rewarded me with 0.8.
I told you guys last week he was probably going to be subbed off early. You guys didn't listen.
Yep, subbed at half. Luke Thomas got subbed early. I mean, they don't have floors anyways.
Yeah.
Like, how does Hammer finish with 4 points in that game last week? I mean, they're just awful. So, yeah, I guess, like, the two forwards would be the best option because you don't need floors. You just need them to fall into a goal. So the two forwards seem okay.
I'm just trying to figure out what the percentages are going to be on McBurney compared to Cameron Archer, because I think Sheffield United are going to score. Burnley don't have a clean sheet this season, and their defense has been terrible. They were also pretty good in matchups last season against each other. McBurney, do you think is twice as popular as Cameron Archer, would you say?
I mean, he should be, but I don't know that he would be. I don't know. Like,
yeah, I just don't know how the general public thinks.
I don't know. Like, what does Jordan think? But yeah, you're like, McBurney's a way better play, but yeah, I don't know if ownership would reflect that.
Jordan, what do you think about McBurney versus Cameron Archer?
I don't think it matters.
But I mean, do you think like the popularity will be that different?
No. I think the Sheffield pieces that are going to be used are going to be more like the Hammer, Norwood, Baldock, those guys. The full,
so you tell me
wing backs. I don't know. McBurney. I think McBurney will come in a little bit higher owned, but I don't think it's going to be high. We're talking about like the difference between one guy being 8% and one guy being 5%. Like it's a 3-game slate. That anything that's single digit is low owned.
Right.
All I need is McBurney to be sub 10%.
You might get it.
You might get it.
It's a free goal, so I mean, you guys can play.
Sorry, it's a free goal. Oh, I have.
It's a free goal, now. Preloaded goal for Oliver McBurney.
Preloaded, okay.
But don't play him. Don't play him is what I'll say.
You're right though, Adam. It'll probably be pretty good ownership for a 3-game slate. Like just in general, it'll probably be a little bit lower than it should be on a 3-game slate.
Hopefully. Yeah, because I mean, there's just no one around him, but the fact that we have all the Arsenal guys and we have Mbeumo as forward options, people will probably find it difficult to find the extra money to fit in McBurney at the 58 or 5,500 when you have the Burnley guys you mentioned. You have, I guess that's kind of it, and Archer's down there. And Downey's 5,100, Archer's 4,800. So you have those guys there that were a little cheaper. So it is maybe not the easiest thing to get McBurney in if you're spending up on all the Brentford and Arsenal pieces. So in midfield, we kind of went over midfield already. JBG, Gudmundsson, he is 7,300, Trossard 8,200, and then you got Norwood is down here at 5,500. Hammer is 5,100. Brownhill's at 5,900. So you have all these basically split set piece takers, and they're all just kind of sitting in here in this range below JBG at least. I assume you guys aren't going to be looking at the Wolverhampton guys because there's no real reason to. Barkley's at 5,400. Townsend is also down here. I guess James McAtee is 4,400. Not the worst play, I'd say. Yarmoliak, who we'll see if he actually starts, but he is the expected starter above Jensen in the midfield, and he is 4,200 for a midfielder for Brentford. I'm not sure how many people will look there. Janel has been starting as a left back recently for Brentford. He's at 3,900. So in cash games, I mean, we already discussed the set piece takers, but I assume you guys aren't even. I assume you aren't even bothering looking anywhere else. So, do you have any other moves for tournaments, Jordan?
What, the midfield?
Yeah, midfield.
Just plugging in guys that correlate with my forwards. I mean, the lineups that I'm building right now, like I don't mind playing Norgard and the midfield for Brentford. If you have Maupay and Witsa in your lineup, and same for Burnley. So I don't mind Holyoke, Brownhill. I mean, Sander Burge, it's a little questionable. But also you got guys that fill the forward guys that also midfield eligible as well. So you could throw in Goodmudson in there. You could throw in, and Mbuemo fits in midfield forward spots. So I'm serious when I say that it's quite possible I do not have a single player from any of the underdogs that I will just build 3 lineups. And if Sheffield wants to come out and win, or Luton wants to come out and win, or Wolves, like Cash, there's a different story. Like Cash, sure, you could have these, you could have a cheap guy from one of the underdogs, but in GPPs, it's just like all the favorites win, all clean sheets. Don't worry about the other side. Don't worry about playing Alfie Doughty or playing, just like Ryan said with the Sheffield guys. Like, dude, I'm done with the come on, really? Like, they could barely get possession. It's just like I know Hammer is cheap at 5,100. Can I play him in cash? Yeah, but I almost feel like I'd just rather find the 800 to get Brownhill, right? I'll play Luke Thomas or Baldock or someone just to satisfy the fact that you need to find someone in that range. But do I want to play Hugo Bueno in an underdog? I don't want any of these guys. Ross Barkley, what are we doing? Right? We didn't mention Townsend. We talked about people have been trying to play Townsend. He plays 60 minutes and does nothing. He seems like he should be doing stuff and he doesn't. It just seems like all the underdogs have like these guys that you play Thomas Doyle and you wonder how is it possible he only got 3.8 points in 90 minutes.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with all that. I mean, like usual, I don't really want to play any of these underdog spots,
except for McBurney.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: we talk about midfield forward. I don't mind because if McBurney or Archer or Morris or Cunha or Huang or something, they go out and give me 2 points. It's like that. I'm playing them for the goal. So I know if they don't score a goal, that I'm no good, right? You're playing them for a cheap. Can you get a cheap 14 points? The thing is,
Adam,
when you play Thomas Doyle and you play Oliver Norwood, like it's hard for them to get a cheap 12. Like they have to rack up peripherals, and these teams just don't rack up peripherals really that much. That I'd just rather take a shot on. Give me a goal or give me death. So the forwards, I think, are perfect. If you want to take a shot on the forwards, I think that, or anyone with some reasonable form of goal scoring potential, I think that's fine.
Yeah. Okay, Jordan. For cash, I see. If you start Saka, Mbuemo, Trossard, Brownhill, pretty tough to get to Raya.
Right, you don't have to play Raya, so who cares?
Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I was asking. And then Adam.
That's why you go the hammer time.
I don't know if I can do hammer time. What do you think about Janel in this spot for 3,900?
I think he's the only reason that makes him a worse play is because he's midfield eligible, not defender eligible. Because he'll be playing as a fullback for 3,900. I don't mind.
Maybe that's better.
But truthfully, maybe that's better because we have cheap defenders to play. So playing Janel I think you make a good point that if you wanted to play Janel in like the utility in a midfield spot so you could pay up for Raya and play 3 cheap defenders, I think that's viable. He's playing wide for a team that has a 2+ implied goal total. He's 3,900. Right. He'll send in a couple of crosses. He'll get some tackles won. And if he ends up with, 2 chances created and an assist, for 3,900, he could end up with 16, 18 points. Sure, I guess. Yeah, I
agree.
I'd much rather play him than play like the 5K midfielders from Brentford. right? And Yeku and Norgard, right? I'd much rather. Of course, those two have a little bit more goal scoring potential. A deep goal or something like that. But Janel, I think, has a much higher has a much better floor from like creating chances and whipping the ball in. Because you have to expect Brentford is going to have 65% possession in this game. And that's the main reason why I look at Sheffield and then go, do I want to have these Sheffield guys when they're going to have the ball 30 to 35% of the time? Because it seems like they should have higher floors, but they don't. They really don't.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, for Janel, he has 4 chances created and 8 crosses in his 2 starts as a left back in a 4-3-3 this season. So my question was going to be at 3,900 for Janelt. This is basically, I guess depends what you're coming with. I think both of you guys are going to be in this kind of 4K range for defender, but we'll see. Depends if you go Raya, of course. So it's basically 3,900 for Janel. Mads Ruslev is 3,500. Christopher Ajer is 3,700. This is the same position as Aaron Hickey, as Rico Henry. So if you would play those guys at this price in this position, then you could play Janel here. Is kind of what I'm getting at. If again, these are fullbacks who it's like, okay, yeah, I guess I'll do it because they're in a good spot. They'll get me 5 points. So it's just it kind of depends what you want, because it's not like we've seen a ton of upside from the Rico Henrys, from the Ajers, from the Aaron Hickeys over the last couple of years. But that will be a decision if you want to, waste one of your midfield spots on something like that is kind of what I'll say.
Well,
it sounds like you're negative. Like you're going to waste a spot. Can't believe it.
Yeah.
It depends what the rest of your lineup looks like.
Yeah. I wouldn't call it wasting a spot. Like I currently have Christopher Ajer in my utility spot, and he has the clean sheet potential, whereas Janel doesn't. So that's the thing. So maybe Ajer is better, but the underdog ones are not. And Ajer without the clean sheet is certainly not, because he's basically a center back playing right back. I just feel like Janelt has a better floor and more upside. But yeah, I guess if you count clean sheet as part of the floor, maybe Ajer is better. But yeah, I would play him over any of the underdog fullbacks. Baldock seems okay, I guess.
I was going to say, you guys are off of Baldock then.
No, Baldock's a cash play for sure. I think, at least. I don't know. I don't see anyone else.
Yeah, he's more likely.
I think the cheap defenders, I think, in that range are Ajer, Baldock, Vitinho at 3,500. Right. Mm-hmm. I think.
I missed him.
Right.
Yeah.
To me, Vitinho is the best out of the bunch at 3,500.
Yeah, maybe so.
I wouldn't call you crazy even if you played Ben Mee at 3,400, because the Arsenal center backs are both in the 4Ks. So to me, that's out of the question. But dude, like what's Bayer and O'Shea? Brentford are a bigger favorite than Burnley is, but I never mind playing favored center backs if needed. And me obviously could score a goal, right? He gets up there for set pieces, so 3,400 for me. And then what's Bayer's 3,100 and O'Shea 38. So yeah, even if you wanted to go down to Bayer at 3,100, the center back for Burnley, if you want to punt somewhere, I don't think that's awful. That's really just a matter of like the 100. Like if you're going that far down, that means you're playing some lineup where like the only way that you could play any goalkeeper is by playing that guy. Most likely, you'll be able to have like the extra 100 or 200 to get up to one of the actual fullbacks. But I don't think Raya is a priority. I don't think goalkeeper is a priority.
Okay, but
who are you playing?
Do you think spending over 5K is a priority?
No.
Okay.
I think
To
the
me,
question will come
it
down.
depends on. To me, it really comes down to if Arsenal line up as they do, right? If Arsenal doesn't line up, if Trossard's not in, then it changes everything because I'm probably not playing Saka and Trossard. I'm playing Saka and then JBG Brown. I'm not paying 8,200 for anyone, and then now it's so much easier to just pay up for one of the favorite goalkeepers. It really comes down to playing Saka and Buemo and Trossard that gets you in a situation where would you prioritize a better midfielder, someone like Brownhill or even Hammer or Norwood or like some 5K midfielder, or do you prioritize a 5K goalkeeper? And depending on how you look at things, right? Typically, you would prioritize the 5K midfielder because goalkeeper has so much variance included in it, and goalkeepers could get there even giving up 2 or 3 goals. But then some people on a 3-game slate where there aren't many goalkeepers, prioritizing a winning goalkeeper is probably better than, like, I'd much rather play a winning goalkeeper than play an underdog 5K mid. Like, I'd much rather play one of the favorite goalkeepers over Hammer, Norwood, like the Sheffield midfielders, the Wolves midfielders, those guys. But when it comes to Brownhill or JBG, it's like, or even Colio, like, dude, I don't mind playing Colio in cash. Like, if you don't play Janel, like, I don't even mind playing. I just want to. I really, I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay for underdogs on the slate. Baldock is like that's like, and even then, if you told me I had 3,400 left and you could take Baldock or Ben Mee, I may choose to take Ben Mee over Baldock and take the center back for the favorite team. Like, that's how little I care about the underdogs on this slate.
Yep. I'm in agreement. Makes sense.
So do you guys want to play?
Colio.
Do you guys want to play? I guess maybe you're not even there because you might already have Brownhill. Would you rather play Jose Sa and Josh Brownhill or David Raya and one of these 3K defenders?
Yeah, that's sort of what I'm. That's what I'm debating right now. What I'm debating right now, actually. Like when Jordan brought up Koleosho, I was like, maybe I can just put Koleosho in for Brownhill and get up to Keeper, get up to Raya or something. But yeah, I don't know. That's the question. Adam, what do you think about Kabore?
In terms of DFS?
Well, he's like we mentioned he's in that same range. We mentioned literally every other guy in there. I mean, he's comparable, I think, but I'm not really trying to play underdogs, but maybe for tournaments.
Yeah, I think he's fine. I mean, I don't really have too much. They're at Brentford.
He's
should
fine
go 90.
Coming off that weird injury.
Yeah, I think it was just a concussion. So, if he passes protocol, he should be fine.
Yeah,
technically.
Just because he's looked like probably Luton's best player a lot of times, and we've seen him get forward. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that match will be a little more up and down than some people think, but he will be on the side of. He's on the right side. He'd be on the side of Visa, and Janel, who isn't a regular left back. So if you want to look at it like that, maybe easier than Dowdy's side dealing with Mbeumo kind of a thing. So, yeah, I mean, all these guys are just like, okay, it's okay. These 3K defenders, okay, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about Baldock here and Vitinho, who I don't know if he's had a good game yet this season playing as a fullback. I mean, okay, any of these guys, maybe one of these guys actually gets an assist kind of a thing, but it's impossible to project. So just correlate with your team. So I think the question here is for tournaments, are either one of you guys getting up to Cedric at 7,500?
I saw that.
No, but Zinchenko's 5,900 and Tomiyasu's 5,200. We just saw Tomiyasu get a couple assists. Zinchenko, I think he got a goal against Burnley. He's had a couple of good games in league play. Both guys went 45 minutes midweek, so they should be in play for 90 minutes theoretically. Though Ben White has been in the lineup, so he's back. So whatever you want to put into that. Are you guys looking to spend up at defenders just to be a little different? I mean, we just spent 10 minutes talking about 3K defenders. So Jordan, are you looking to, can you find a room anywhere in your lineup in these Burnley stacks if you're going to spend up on one or two of these Arsenal defenders?
No.
No.
No. Why?
I can. Yeah, I have a perfect lineup with Zinchenko. I just think
You telling us?
No, but he can outscore the field at defender. Look, Zinchenko's range of outcomes is wide, but he does have somewhat of a ceiling for this slate. I just see he's the same price as Brownhill. I don't necessarily think Brownhill's like they're comparable plays in my opinion. Like if I fade Saka, you can if you don't have Saka, you can get enough money for Zinchenko. So that I was looking at that just to be different, really, not because I think like it's the nuts to play Zinchenko on this slate. Really, just to get different, and you hope for an assist, or you hope it's one of those games where Arsenal are chasing and Zinchenko starts to crush with crosses and firing in shots like he does.
Right. I mean, we just saw him.
Yeah.
He could be, I mean, outside of, the random center back getting a goal from a set piece kind of thing, he's probably one of the most likely players to actually defenders to get a goal in the slate. He just had the 21 points against Burnley. And I mean, you always talk about it. If you can find the difference, if you can find, a defender who's going to get 10 more points than the next highest defender, and it could show up. It could be one of these Arsenal fullbacks in this spot, no matter how the match goes, really. So that is one thing that you can't separate. And of course, you're gonna have to find the money elsewhere in your lineup. You're probably not going to be able to get to David Raya there. You're probably going to have to fade one of Saka, Mbeumo, or Trossard if he starts, kind of a thing. So
yeah, sometimes you get these spots when Arsenal have a ton of possession, where Zinchenko is like kind of running the show. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He's always too expensive in showdown slates, and I end up fading him. And then you watch the game. He was optimal last showdown. I think both of the last two Arsenal showdowns. You watch the game, and it's like, yeah, I should have played Zinchenko. I see why he was so expensive. Doesn't happen all the time, but
yeah, my original take on this Arsenal game before these suspensions, before a new left-sided defender there, was that for, I don't know, a week or so after Arsenal's last league game, everyone was just like, Arsenal are boring. They just want to possess the ball. They don't do anything. They're not scoring. And then they got 6 goals against Lens. So I actually think it's going to come back to Arsenal just possessing the ball, not really racking up 5 goals again. But I mean, you throw the suspensions in there for Wolverhampton, and it gets kind of dicey where, okay, they're the center of their midfield's out a little bit. But I do think it is in play. Maybe this is one of those games for Arsenal where it is 1-0, 2-0, and they're just possessing the ball in the attacking third, and they're not racking up the goals. They're sending in crosses. Maybe Zinchenko is going to be, in the attacking third the majority of the match, and he's just sending in balls to the box to whoever or stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, as you said, it's always in play for Arsenal, especially just for a team who likes to possess the ball, because it's not like Wolverhampton are going to be like, yeah, we're gonna press and we're gonna be full on attack with 2 new midfielders. They're gonna sit back. So,
yeah,
Jordan,
yeah, no, go.
Jordan,
the Arsenal. Go ahead.
No, go for it. You're the Arsenal
guy. They've definitely put an emphasis on defense and clean sheets. Their XG allowed is by far the best in the league. It's crazy. It's like 9 or something. At least it was before last game. Like much better than Man City's. I mean, they are focused on possession, not allowing chances, and not allowing goals. So yeah, you can see the game going like that.
Jordan, you haven't talked in a while. So who's your favorite goalkeeper?
My favorite goalkeeper?
Yeah. Who are you playing in your 4 GPP lineups?
I'm probably playing a favorite. I mean, probably.
Are you playing Trafford? Don't tell me you're playing Trafford.
Why? What's wrong with Trafford?
I already said McBurney's going to score. Why would I play Trafford if I know
But
McBurney's going to
why
score?
aren't I just not playing McBurney? If McBurney's preloaded? If you're going to tell me McBurney's preloaded with the goal? I'm going to tell you Trafford is preloaded with a clean sheet. There you go. Diametrically opposed.
McBurney just scored a goal. Burnley don't have a clean sheet all season. You're just making up stuff here, Jordan.
I can't preload a Trafford clean sheet while you preload a McBurney goal.
Adam, does Burnley really not have a clean sheet this year?
I'll pull up James Trafford's game logs for you guys. It doesn't look pretty here. They've allowed multiple goals in each of their last 6 matches. They've only allowed they've allowed less than 2 goals 3 times this season.
This is the spot. Look at all those tough matchups.
Okay. Maybe it is the spot, but Burnley's back line is, I think it's the worst in the league, but I'll leave it at that. They're due for a clean sheet.
I thought you have bad things to say about Flecken. You hate playing Flecken. You think
I'm not playing Flecken either. Yeah, if I'm spending up, I'm spending up for Raya. I'm not playing Trafford, and I'm not playing Flecken.
So how about is Kaminsky okay? There's only 6 goalkeepers.
I'm playing Raya or I'm playing Fodderingham. Those are my 2 goalkeepers. I just played Bryce Samba against Arsenal, so I'm not going to play Jose Sa and get smashed for -8 points. And Flecken has already killed me this season. I already talked about Trafford. Brentford are in play for 3+ goals, so I'm not playing Kaminsky either. So I'm only playing 2 goalkeepers.
The thing about Sa that scares the hell out of me about that cash 2v2 is that the way Arsenal play is that when they score, they shoot and they score. They don't shoot and then get saved and shoot and they get saved and wait. They don't have Granit Xhaka in their lineup sending in 35-yard shots for the goalkeeper to save. So it's like if Arsenal score 4 goals, like Sa has negative points. There's no Sa has 12 points and still gives up 3 goals type of outcomes. Like there's less of those. So, you could easily have a -8 in your lineup, more so with a goalkeeper against Arsenal than playing a goalkeeper. Even if Man City were a -1,000 favorite in this spot, I'd still much rather play the goalkeeper against Man City because they're much more likely to waste chances taking shots than Arsenal does.
Yeah, there's a reason you look on the opponent rank here on goalkeepers. Arsenal are the worst team to face in the league for goalkeepers, which backs up exactly what Jordan said. I will add, if I need the $300, I would play Kaminsky because he's making a ton of saves. So I'll add Kaminsky to my list of playable goalkeepers.
Right. So now it's up to 3. So your list is 3 out of 6.
Yeah, it's good enough.
I was going to try to make a case for Sa, but you guys made some very good points. Just to, maybe Kaminsky's the better one. Just the case for the underdog goalie who gets scored on and still has 6 saves could be okay on a smaller slate.
So, you know how the slate plays out. After talking through all of this, Sheffield win 4-1, Luton win 1-0, and the Wolves it goes 0-0. And Sa has 22 points with 8 saves and a clean sheet. And basically, Ryan, you've wait all the money that you spent on Sheffield that you flushed down the toilet. This was the slate to get it back.
Yeah, I'm worried about that. Lose more money with Sheffield.
How many of your lineups are you playing Raya, Ryan?
I don't know, but I do agree with you that that's who I want to spend up on.
51% clean sheet odds, 10% better than Brentford there.
I think the other guys I think are good for the main GPP, but yeah, I would try to get to Raya in single entry stuff rather than I have trouble paying 5,300 for Burnley's keeper ever, no matter who they're playing.
It's probably the first time all season he's been this high.
Right. Those spots are tough for me to click.
It is. He hasn't been above 4,600.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's home against Crystal Palace.
All season, he hasn't been above 4,600.
When are Burnley favored by this much by any?
No, you're right. That's why. That's exactly why. So yeah, like I think he's a fine play for the main GPP, but I just don't do that in like my main lineup.
Jordan, you talking up your let's get into tournaments, a little more tournament talk. You said 3-4 Burnley guys. Are you playing any Sheffield United pieces in that?
Nope.
You're not even throwing, okay, I got 4.8K. You're not even like,
I don't
okay,
care.
maybe Cameron
I can keep
Archer.
McBurney's goal. I know you say he's preloaded. Doesn't matter. I don't. I've gone through making some lineups. I can make all the lineups I want. That all I'm playing are the 3 favorites. I'm going to play 4 GPP lineups, and I don't. Nope. I'm just going to Burnley lineup, Brentford lineup, Arsenal lineup, maybe a second Brentford lineup. And
answer something for me, Adam. How does Cameron Archer play 90 minutes
and do nothing,
and not have a stat against? He had 1 shot assisted against Bournemouth. They were chasing the game from the 10th minute. Like,
how many accurate passes though? How many accurate passes?
Well, he got up to 13.
That's progress. Progress.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Right. How do you play 90 minutes in the position that he does and accumulate nothing?
Right. When they needed, they're chasing the whole game. It's so concerning.
I will say, so they got back. Ahmedovich came off the bench at halftime last week. McBurney came off the bench at halftime last week. And their last 2 matches, their midfielder, this Brazilian, I think he's Brazilian, he must be, Vinicius, started their last 2 matches. I think he's only gone 45 in each of them. The second half of each of those games, Sheffield United played better. They got the draw. Yeah, that was at Burnley in that prior match. And I took out Vinicius because of that. And I think, so you add in Ahmedovich, probably their best center back of what they have right now, McBurney, their best forward. You take out a defensive midfielder who doesn't have a ton of attacking ability. You have James McAtee in the midfield. You have a little more attacking there. You have a little more creativity. You have some success from what happened against Burnley last season and this Vincent Kompany team. I think everyone is kind of looking at that Bournemouth game and being like, I'm not touching Sheffield United. And maybe that makes sense. But it was only 2 games ago where they actually took a point at Brighton and played better than Brighton at Brighton 2 games ago. So I will say that if they score 1 or 2 goals, don't be surprised.
I appreciate you making the case for them. I won't be surprised. It's a good matchup. I can't make the case for them anymore because I've looked silly trying to do it. So no more Vinicius. Are they going to bring John Fleck back into the fold? He's only got a couple minutes this year. Why not?
They might. Flecky?
Yeah, I remember him taking sets.
Oh, no.
He used to split with Norwood.
Yeah, it's possible. They should mix something up.
Adam, what about I see Ozzy in the chat saying Doughty with the monopoly of set pieces. I see he had 11. Well, he had 11 crosses against Palace last week. Who's going to take? Who else would take sets? Oh,
Barkley and Townsend both take them.
Yeah, interesting. Okay,
I'm not sure what happened last week where he took 5 corners, but
I mean, it's kind of interesting. He took the corners last week. Townsend didn't take any.
If Doughty was like 5.1K, I would really consider him, but he's 6.6.
That's tough.
Like it's the same for Igbene, who is 6.3K. Like a player I like, but just at Brentford at that price range above 6K, it's just not. I just find it hard to get to. But
me too.
For the main GPP, hey, go for it. I mean,
Brentford at home is a tough spot. They have a crazy record at home.
Brentford at home, but they do not have Jensen. They have a guy who may receive his second ever Premier League start in Yarmir Layak.
Okay. He was good against Arsenal last week, and so were Brentford. People were talking about like Arsenal struggling. I mean, winning at Brentford is tough. Really, Arsenal's been the only team that's done it in the last year. I forget what the stat was, but yeah, just doesn't inspire much hope, the spot for Luton either. So yeah, I mean, just to Jordan's point that he keeps making, playing the favorites seems like the move.
So Jordan, who's your favorite? Are you going to play Declan Rice?
Are we just trying to fill time for an hour? Is there some type of thing in the contract that says we have to go an hour? How much can we talk about this?
I'm trying to help you win the King of the Pitch
Why
ticket.
are we talking about every team on the slate? Do you think that what are you kidding me?
The people got to know. The people want to know what your thoughts are. Are you going to play Declan Rice? Are you going to play the Arsenal center back?
But I mean, can you? Sure, sure.
Adam, are you going to click Declan Rice? How is he 7,400?
Right. I mean,
exactly. Exactly. 1%, 2%.
Okay. I mean,
does Declan Rice have a Rodri-like brace in him?
I don't know about a brace. He could score, but a brace would be pretty tough.
All right, you guys got anything else?
I'm trying to find. Is there anyone at what? Who is P. Ruddock and Ponzu? We haven't talked about that guy.
Kelly Ruddock. Yeah.
Right. We haven't talked. How about Gabriel Osho? He's viable. How about Bellegarde? I mean,
you guys still haven't told me who's gonna.
Trusty seems like he's trustworthy.
Yeah,
why do we have to mention everyone?
Who's gonna assist McBurney? That's what I've been trying to figure out, but you guys haven't told me yet.
It's going to be an own goal. It's going to be Trafford makes a mistake and McBurney capitalizes. That's who's going to make the assist.
Should I play James McAtee at 4.4K?
No. Don't do it. Maybe if he's in an attacking role, not in midfield.
Yeah, but it is an attacking role against Burnley.
I mean, really, there's only 2 Sheffield players that have an attacking role. It's the 2 center forwards.
All right.
Yeah,
I think that's all we got. We didn't even mention anyone from Wolves outside of Jose Sa. But is Hwang going to score? I think he's scored or assisted in his last 10 matches. If you don't play Raya, do you play Hwang to get that goal or assist?
One time I played Hwang against Arsenal on a showdown slate, and he won me 15K. I think it's still maybe the best showdown I've ever had. So
as your captain,
you don't want to give any of that money back. So don't right?
Yeah,
no, you got lucky there. You don't want to give any of that back.
No Hwang. Yeah, no Hwang. We're not giving any of that back.
Okay. All right. That's all we got here. RotoWire.com/soccer trial. That is a 48-hour trial to get this cheat sheet and everything else our site has to offer. Of course, we have a bunch of these cheat sheets going on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I'm just reading off all. I think we have after Thanksgiving we have 40 straight games of coverage we're doing over at RotoWire. So it's gonna be a lot of cheat sheets. It's gonna be a lot of work. But speaking of next week, we have 2 games on Tuesday. I don't think we're gonna have anything significant for that, but we might. I think we're gonna get a 6-game slate on Wednesday. So we're definitely gonna do something for that. And then another 2 games on Thursday. So check back next week for a DFS video, probably a DFS article as well. But you can find Jordan at BlenderHD on Twitter. You can find Ryan at Ryan Belongi. I am at RotoZdroik. Also, follow RotoWire Soccer at RotoWire Soccer. Make sure to give a thumbs up, like this video if possible, and like our podcast as well. Thank you everyone for listening. Good luck to Jordan with his 4 cash lineups in the King of the Pitch. In the King of the Pitch contest. I'm gonna have something in there. If you see McBurney score a brace, you're gonna find my name near the top of that leaderboard. And if you play him, do not match the rest of my lineup. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Jordan. See everyone next week.
Thanks, guys. Good luck, everybody.